Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. If you missed my Week 3 NFL review, it is up on my channel right now. We talk winners and losers of each game, but today we are going to get into some power rankings with our tier list that we have done every week of the NFL season. Before we do that, you see that candle? Guys, seriously, we're so close. 500 subscribers and I get a new candle. This one is sooty, it's ashy, it's disgusting, and it's empty. So hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you like the content, help me out. Let's get some pumpkin spice, baby. If this is your first time watching these videos, here's how we rank these teams. At the top, we have Super Bowl conversation teams that I believe could be talked about in the same sentence as the Super Bowl right now. We have comfy playoffs, teams that I think make the playoffs easily. We have the category, which is a potential wild card team, but probably sitting around that 500 record. Then we have the teams that are 6-11, just kind of mildly average, not going to have a top draft pick, not going to make the playoffs. And then we have the wins the draft category, teams that I don't see winning more than 4 or 5 games. We will start with the Cardinals. Although they did get one of the most impressive victories of Week 3, I still think they are a wins the draft team. They have been competitive in most of their games, but I don't see them winning 6. I know the Falcons started 2-0. I know that they're playing in one of the easier divisions in the NFL. With Derek Carr going down for the Saints, it helps them even more. I still don't believe in this team. They're too young, and they showed that this week. They played the Detroit Lions, who Seattle put up 37 on, and they couldn't get more than a touchdown? I don't know. Give me 6-11 for the Falcons. Goodness gracious, the Ravens looked pathetic last week. Or did the Colts look good? I don't know. The point is, I think their division is tough, and I don't see them as an easy walk to the wild card right now. I know the Bills lost in Week 1 to the Jets, but they've come back, and they've put up some monster points. Now, they've done it against mediocre teams. However, I am willing to move the Bills to the Super Bowl conversation, and I may eat my words next week when they lose to the Dolphins. But I think if they can handle the Dolphins, it's going to wake a lot of people up. Andy Dalton looked better than Bryce Young did, but I still think the Panthers have more to do. The Bears are currently the laughingstock of the NFL, and maybe for good reason. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's players. I don't know if it's both. They're probably not going to get to 6 wins this year. The Bengals got a much-needed win last night, but again, the AFC North has 4 teams that are above average. I'm going to put them in the category as well. Another AFC North team with the Browns. This is probably the hardest division for me to make predictions on, but I'm really liking what the Steelers are doing. I'm going to put Browns in but if you think they're comfy playoffs, I don't blame you. Again, these 3 teams mixed with the Steelers is tough for me. We're going to leave it here for now. Are we still allowed to talk about the Cowboys in the Super Bowl in the same sentence after what we saw to the Cardinals? I think I would face too much backlash if I put them in the Super Bowl conversation. The injury to Diggs, I think, is massive for their defense, and we saw part of that maybe play out, mixed with them walking into a game they maybe felt like was going to be an easy win. I still think they make the playoffs comfortably, at least with a wild card if they can't hold out the Eagles in the NFC East, but we'll slow down on Super Bowl talk. I don't even care that the Broncos gave up 70 points. I'm still hung up on the fact that they lost to the Commanders when they were up 21-17 in the third quarter. Wins the draft. With the Vikings and the Bears pooping the bed a little bit, I think the Lions do make the playoffs comfortably, although I'm not sleeping on Jordan Love and the Packers. Speaking of the Packers, their 18-point comeback in the fourth quarter only deserves some respect. Texans get their first win this weekend against a divisional opponent on the road. I still don't think they're going to win 6 games. Wins the draft. The Colts now sit at the top of the AFC South. They did it with their backup quarterback in Baltimore, a game where they were almost double-digit underdogs. Fine. I respect it. I do think the Jaguars still win this division, but out of respect for the Colts, out of caution for what we saw in Jacksonville, we'll just go ahead and be respectful here and put the Jaguars in the category. Chiefs had a week 1 scare, but then have been rolling ever since. I hate to do it. I know everybody wants to talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift more than they want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, which, hey, maybe that's a good thing. We get a little break. I do think these two teams are going to battle it out in the AFC for a shot at the Super Bowl, so let's go ahead and throw them both up here. The Mike Williams injury will hurt this team, and if Austin Eckler does not get back, I do think they struggle. However, they're better than 6-11, so I'm going to put them in the category. The Rams are a walking, talking 6-11 team. They're going to compete in every game they play in, but they keep falling just a little bit short, and I don't expect that to change as we move through the year. Was there anything more confusing than the Raiders kicking a field goal on 4th and 4 in the red zone down 8 points? No. The answer is no. 6-11 may be too generous. Listen, I know we saw the Dolphins put up 70 points, but, slow down. They were a one-score game with the Patriots the week prior. They were a 3-point win against the Chargers in week 1. I think they really struggle at Buffalo this week, and I think they lose to Buffalo outright, and people kind of slow down on the Dolphins. However, I do think they get the wild card spot pretty easily in the AFC, considering they're starting 3-0. So we're going to put them at comfy playoffs. Don't shoot the messenger. Maybe this is the last week that I believe in the Vikings. They're beating themselves. I still think they can win 6 games starting 0-3. All right. So I'm going to put them there, but I'll be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll accept it. I think the Patriots have just enough to win 6 games this year. I thought the Saints would win the NFC South with ease, but this Derek Carr injury is not help, although they do get Alvin Kamara back, I believe, this week. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that the Saints still make the playoffs comfortably by winning the NFC South. The Giants are probably going to beat Seattle on Monday night because Seattle cannot play on the East Coast. However, it's not enough. I don't think they win more than 5 games this year. Wins the draft. I think the Jets would have been so impressive if Aaron Rodgers could have stayed healthy. But he did not, so we can't talk about it. Wins the draft for the Jets. I'm still not entirely sold on the Eagles, but I have to respect that they are getting things done. They are running the ball well. They still have some question marks on the back end, on the defense with their passing defense. I mean, Baker Mayfield still played pretty well in the conditions of rain last night with his receivers. Mike Evans dropping quite a few balls. I'm going to put him in Super Bowl conversation just so y'all are happy, but I don't know if I truly believe it right now. I think the Steelers handle the AFC North. Kenny Pickett is working right now, and I think their defense is good enough to win that division. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say the Steelers are a comfortable playoff team this year. The Seahawks are probably going to win 8 games this year. It's going to be tough to get a wild card considering the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles will take one of the spots. I'll hold out hope being a fan, but for right now, we'll put them in the category. The Niners are in Super Bowl conversations. Brock Purdy has not lost in the NFL. I believed in Tampa Bay until last night. Now, is one game enough for me to throw it all away? No. And I think the NFC South is a weak division. So I'm still going to hold out hope for the Buccaneers, and I'm going to put them in the category. It's time for the Titans to make a move at quarterback. I'm sorry, but Tannehill is not getting it done. You have DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry on your team, and you haven't won a game? I guess you won 1 game. You're horrible. It doesn't matter. Fine, 6-11. Finally, the Washington Commanders, I think, do enough to win 6 games this year. Here is the completed list with the teams highlighted showing their movement. Green means they moved up a category. Yellow means they stayed in the same category. And red means they moved down. The movers up. For the Super Bowl conversation, we have the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles joining this conversation. Maybe I should have already had that, but I've accepted it now. Niners see no change. As far as comfy playoffs, the Cowboys move down and join this category. The Lions, the Dolphins, and the Saints stay in this category, and the Steelers welcome, moving up from the category. The category gets a new Face in the Ravens moving down from comfy playoffs and the Jaguars moving down from comfy playoffs. Stays the same with the Bengals, the Browns, the Packers, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers. And a new shining face overachieving the Indianapolis Colts move up from 6-11. As for 6-11, we have the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Titans, and the Washington Commanders all staying considerable in this 6-11 spot, moving into it from the category. So downgrading, we have the Falcons and the Vikings. And finally, wins the draft. No change to the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Giants, the Jets, and the Texans. But joining them from the 6-11 category, we have the Bears and the Broncos. As always, guys, I do this every week. If you don't want to miss a video, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the bell. Honestly, the bell's kind of annoying. You probably get enough notifications on your phone anyway, but the subscribe helps me a ton. I appreciate it. Comment below what you think as far as rankings, where you see a problem with my list. I can take the criticism. I can. Take care, and we'll see you next week.